Hi again. I have got a wind of motivation, and so I'm going to do another video, the second one of 2015. And in the last video I was talking about, again, this whole liking yourself, wondering what it was like to be your friend, if you were your own friend, or your own partner, or your own boss. It was I like to think of this as a discussion, that you and I are actually having a discussion about this, and so I like to think I'm hearing people as I as I talk, and listening to people's responses. So such as it is. So yes, we left off the last time about, what were you like to be on the receiving end of? How do people experience you when you walk away from a group of people, or a conference, a workshop, coffee, having dinner with people? What do they say about you when you've gone? What do they experience from you? How do you leave people feeling? And again, I'm not making any judgment on anything's right or wrong. It's just how you are. It's just a fact. How you, affect people. So what I wanted to talk about today with you, because obviously you're talking back to me while I'm doing all this, is a few things actually. The big one, the big F word, as in forgiveness. I want to talk a bit about forgiveness. But before we go on to forgiveness, I want to lead on to why people need to consider forgiveness. Because I want to talk about change. And depending how you've been brought up, your role models, your experience of change, people and your own makeup, your own, how you're wired. Some people really love change. They love as much change as possible. And other people find change stressful, very stressful. Some people like routine. And so when you're looking at life and life choices, it has to be considered. If you're with a partner and you have to obviously come together to make decisions about change, you may have one who's very averse to change and one who's very pro change, and obviously the idea is to both meet in the middle, compromise, and come to a decision that suits both. But I just want to look at change as in this idea that people have problems. People come to me with problems, and they're looking for all kinds of solutions to their problems. And it's very interesting when you talk to people, and when you listen to people, people are very good at talking about their problems. And again, referring back to what I said before, it is because some people's problems are their identity. What gives them significance. Without these problems and without this stuff to talk about, what have they got? Now that sounds, again, maybe a little harsh, but it's interesting that doing clients for 30 years, it's amazing how people came back over years and years and years. And I used to find it fascinating. It's like, wow, that is still running. That pattern is still running. Okay, and some people need that pattern to keep running, because if you try and interrupt that pattern and stop that pattern, it causes them, bizarrely, more distress than to actually break the pattern and start anew. Something I found out it was a wonderful thing to realize about people, that the new start and the breaking of the pattern is actually more stressful than actually moving out of what's giving you the stress and starting anew. there's more comfort in staying in a difficult situation because they understand it. It's, you know, that saying, better the devil you know, which is, you know, it's mind-blowing. So many people would choose to stay within you know, that difficult, comfortable situation because they knew the land, they knew the landscape, they knew the triggers, they knew what was going to happen. It was comfortable. And even though on one level they knew it was not the best for them, they'd still stick with it because it was their comfort zone, their fur-lined rut, as I would put it. It's a fur-lined rut. You know, you may not like it, but it's actually quite comfortable and warm, and why put your head above the parapet and risk, you know, who knows what's up there. So change is fascinating, and people's resistance to change is powerful. And it's something that on your path to self-love is to recognize about yourself that resistance to change, or choosing to stay in the fur-lined rut because it's far more comfortable than starting fresh, starting anew. You know, whether it's a new job, a new partner, you know, a new home, a new friendship, you know, and you know, anything new. It's you know, it's amazing the power of the resistance or the motivation to change. And just for a simple example, you know, take smoking, or take drinking and smoking. If you want to cut down your drinking or smoking, or if you want to cut it out, for instance, there's so much association with drinking and smoking. And it's not just the act of drinking or smoking, it's the whole world around it. You know, you're drinking friends, you're smoking friends. You know, what happens when you drink? Where, you know, there's a whole pattern from getting ready to go to the pub, to deciding what you're going to drink, getting ready, walking or driving, the mindset that comes with it, you know, the escape. I'm you know, for some people, you know, we in order to you know, in order to move from one state of mind to another, it's called changing states. It can be something really simple. So if I'm here now and I've been working on my computer, or I've been painting, or whatever I do, I've been writing, if I want to change state, you know, just get up, go out into the garden, you know, walk about, you know, move your arms about, sing, do something, you know, to, you know, just get your mind and your body like, oh, okay. So going to the pub, having a cigarette can actually help people change state. It can help people go from being at their desk to going outside with a cigarette and, you know, exhaling and changing states, you know. If you meditate, one of the first things you do is regulate your breathing and start being aware of breath and breathing, and, you know, that helps you change state. And for some people, they would never consider going to a meditation class, but funnily enough, their simple act of smoking does exactly, you know, makes them breathe and inhale. You know, what they're inhaling isn't quite, you know, what you would do in a meditation class, but hey, you know, it's breathing, it's changing state. And if you go to the pub, it's the same. You're changing state. You're going from home, where you may have children, wife, husband, you know, who knows what going on, and you go to the pub, and between home and the pub, you're changing state. Okay, you get into a whole different mindset. So I'm using those analogies only because when you take that onto a bigger scale, it's really no different. There's a huge change of state. There's a massive change of state. You know, this going from, you know, one home to another, one job to another. And of course, what happens is with changing state, say, let's talk about a job, there's a lot of insecurity that arises. There's fear that arises. Am I going to be good enough? Am I going to be able to do this? Can I get there? What's the journey like? What are the new people going to be like? You know, can I actually, can I, you know, make this, can I cross this bridge? So this video is about change, considering change. And again, the excuses people come up with why they can't change. And I've probably heard them all, in fact. Well, no, I probably haven't, but I've heard quite a few. And it's amazing when you can give people 10 reasons, you know, why the change they think they want to make will really enhance their life. And it's amazing how people can come up with 10 reasons why that actually won't work for them. Which is why you get this idea that, okay, the fear is either massive or actually you are comfortable in that position. And I like to suggest to people, okay, you're not ready to change yet. You're not ready for that yet. Because listen to all the obstacles you're putting in your way. You're self-sabotaging your change. And that's okay. But just be aware that at this moment, you don't want to change. You don't want to make that move. This fur-lined rut is actually quite comfortable. And if people are putting up all these blockages to the change, then it's really good to, and for yourself to just go, okay, actually, I don't want to change. I don't want to move my job. So I don't want to, you know, leave my relationship. I don't want to, you know, move. I don't want to take my children from that school to this school. So what's really helpful is then to go, okay, what's working where I am? What's working with this job? What is actually really, you know, what is really working? What's good about this job? You need to focus on the real positives. So when you know you don't actually want to change and you're not ready to make that leap yet, because the big, you know, the grass is always greener, well actually maybe it's not, because look at this lovely patch I'm standing on here. It's very useful just to go, okay, what's great about this relationship? What do I really love about this guy, this woman? What do I really, you know, what did I fall in love with? You know, they say actually people never physically go off each other. But what happens, this abyss grows and communication breaks down, and that's why people kind of go off each other, because of communication. So if you basically go back to why you fell in love with this person, why you chose the job, what still works about it, why are you still there? You know, what actually works about this job? What is actually very positive about this job, this house, this relationship, you know, this car, whatever. And it's very, very useful to just separate. Okay, actually I don't want to change, and it's fine, it's okay. You know, it's okay, it's fine. And this is where forgiveness comes in, the responsibility of choice. You know, the responsibility of choice is massive. Because no one can make those choices and take responsibility for them but you. You'll find a lot of people take responsibility for all kinds of other people's stuff. You know, they take it on board and they hold it for them. You know, they put it in their big sack on the back and they drag this massive, huge sack behind them that's grown from, you know, a tiny little knapsack over their life to a huge, you know, 20-meter sack of all the responsibilities they're carrying for everybody else. But I'm going to do that in the next video, talk about responsibility, choice and forgiveness. Because again, I like to keep these videos to a certain kind of length, just to get a few messages across. But this video is about the change, okay? So if you think you want to change and you've got all these options, but you come up with 10 reasons why you can't, let yourself off the hook. Okay, you don't want to change at this moment, and that's cool. It's okay. Don't change. Keep where you are. Stay in the comfort. Okay? Be nice to yourself, beautiful people. Okay. That's it for today. It's been lovely talking to you, with you, discussing this, and I'll be back with the video on forgiveness, choice and responsibility next. Okay, take it easy. Bye.